few days in, so
Yeah, I know.
the jury's still out.
Yeah. No, no. I went up there the other day because I just happened to see Rich Deeds' truck, and I seen Mike. Well, Mike does all the repair work. Mike, small engines.
Evening, Heather.
Mike. Gosh.
Good night.
Anyway, he was sitting there because I
Looks like I got here right on
had
time.
a job for me, so I wheeled in there.
3 different times I've been on Saturday morning.
And now,
The place looks nice. They did a good
yeah,
job.
well, they did.
It's really a huge
They
improvement.
need to, yeah. They need to get something more going in there.
You giving something away tonight?
What's that?
You giving something away tonight?
Oh, at Buchanan. That's the key to the city for Jade Smith for Saturday.
Can I make an announcement under recognition?
We got added to the agenda.
Well, Mike Adams, our fire chief, just celebrated 30 years on the city fire department.
Oh wow.
We can do a recognition.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say something to him about being down here, and that's what was kind of cool about the whole thing, is his first fire, I took him into a fire.
Your last?
And, no, that wasn't my last one. I took him into the fire to help pull a guy out.
Oh wow.
That was his first.
You
can do
christened
that.
him with that one, huh?
Huh?
You christened him with that one?
We can do that. I'm going to
Yeah,
get started
actually,
because
We were two
1
that
minute.
were on the,
Wait till the next one and we'll invite him and I'll ask him to come do a report.
Okay.
Surprise him.
let's do that.
let's
Yeah.
do that.
Just getting stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, I guess he brought that up. And we pulled the guy out and he lived for 2 weeks.
Did you see that fire in New York? Oh, man.
Oh. Yeah.
Space heater. They're saying it was because of the space heater.
So in like an apartment building or something? I haven't seen
Yeah.
that one yet.
19 people. 9 kids.
19 stories or something like that, I think. Or that was the number I did, I don't know.
There was 19 that got killed. 9 of them were kids.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that wouldn't,
Okay.
that wouldn't be any.
Afterwards about fire. Yeah. Ready?
Yep.
Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Buchanan City Commission, Monday, January 10th, 2022. It is 7 o'clock. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have roll call, please?
Denson,
Yes.
Whedon, Downey.
Here.
Money,
Present.
Swam.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
This is money I would so move.
Thank you. Is there support?
I'll support.
Thank you. Can we have roll call, please? Sorry.
Sorry, it took me a minute to
No.
remember that was me. Swam,
Yes.
Whedon. Money,
Yes.
Downey,
Yes.
Denson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to public comment for agenda items only. If you'd like to make a public comment, please make your way forward and state your name for the minutes. Is there anyone wishing to make a public comment? Going once, going twice. I'm waiting for you, Norma. Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Anybody like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented, including payment of expenditures in the amount of $554,722.92, with $454,900 $4,320.28, consisting of the second to last payment, progress payment to Davis Construction for the new wastewater treatment plant.
Thank you. Is there support?
Swim will support.
Thank you. Can we have roll call, please?
Yes. Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon, Downey,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swam.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. So, we do have some of our city staff that is ill, so we're gonna be skipping over some of these things. I would just note that if the commission has any questions, they can email city manager for updates on the treasurer's report.
I did like that. We've got our first start on variance reporting. So,
All right, let's go down to new business. Consider approving the medical marijuana processing permit application submitted by Boone Labs for 107 Alexander Street.
Mayor, Commissioners, members of the public, Rich Murphy, Community Development Director. You'll remember this was on your agenda last, first meeting of December, and we just tabled it due to information on the background coming back to the satisfaction of Chief Gaines, which it has done so. So the application is fully complete. We have all approvals. My recommendation is for approval. And additionally, the members of the team from the Boone family and their partners are here tonight in the first row. They've been gracious enough to stop by City Hall a few times in the last few weeks to update me on the project. And I'm also happy to hear that they have plans for expansion as well. So with that, that's all I had, unless you guys had any questions.
Any questions? Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll motion to approve the medical marijuana processing permit application submitted by Boone Labs, Inc. for 107 Alexander Street.
Thank you. Is there support?
I'll support.
Thank you. Can I have roll call, please?
Downey,
Yes.
Money,
Yes.
Swam,
Yes.
Dennison,
Yes.
Whedon, absent. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome to Buchanan. We're moving quick. There's a championship football game on tonight.
I was gonna say, we're on a record pace.
All right. Communications?
None for this evening. None for this evening.
Nothing? All right, we're back to public comment for non-agenda items only.
Wow.
Anyone wishing to make a public comment, please make your way forward. State your name for the minutes. Is there anyone wishing to make a public comment?
You guys here for a reason.
Of course.
103 North Detroit, Buchanan, Michigan, Dan Bianski. What I want to bring up tonight is for all of you, your leadership, in particular, Mayor, City Manager. Open Meetings Act, we just authorized a $5.5 million bond. You had all kinds of meetings discussing who you were going to select, how you were going to select it, and I don't see, it might have been posted on the bulletin board, but I don't come down here all the time. You commissioners weren't invited, but I'm not going to lay this all on him. It's up to you to find out why you're not invited. And as far as them saying move it quicker, there's no other way of putting it other than the fact it's BS. You can come down here just like a work session, and in that way you can exchange ideas. You can be down here as a quorum because it's designated a work session. But then not just that, did they not have the Open Meetings Act? And I can't file suit for not having it because you can't sue the government. I'd love to. I would really love to. I wish I had millions of dollars to do so to these crappy little towns with administrators that think they can run hog wild with taxpayers' money. On the other, and then the next thing is you leased a building that is completely unnecessary for the DPW. I don't care what anybody says. Completely unnecessary. And, you're spending money and you're trying to pretend like you're wide open. It's just as closed as it ever was. The faces have changed. The names have changed. There's been some progression, but we've been working on a computer system that still isn't really up and running. We don't have a budget, you know, and there's several other things that we did have, but nobody wanted to work with the people that are down here and willing to volunteer. But I hope with you spending the $23 million for Front Street, you open it up. You don't have to listen, but you have to open it up. And I'm going to get really noisy about $23 million. Going to get real noisy about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to make a public comment?
Norma Ferris, 304 North Oak. No, I forgot. Ready to serve. What is that for? I have two. I'll give you the other one. Do we have a space and has it been acquired for the piping to fix 3rd Street, or are we going to wait until March?
We'll address both in our comments, okay?
Okay.
Anybody else wishing to make a comment? Going once, going twice. Okay, seeing no one, move on to city manager comments.
So to answer your questions, Norma, the Ready to Serve fee is part of what's charged in your water and sewer rates. And that goes towards making sure that we have capital improvement funds set aside for the repair and maintenance and anything that's needed for the actual infrastructure related to being able to offer those services. I can to any of the water or sewer customers. So I can discuss that with you in more detail. Tomorrow, if you want to come in, we can discuss that in more detail. In relation to your question about the piping, we have purchased the large portion of piping that was of concern that might not be available. We do have that set aside. We're ready for moving in spring as soon as we are able due to the weather. We can't do that at this time.
That I understand. You needed a building. Is it in a building or just on a lot?
I'm not sure what you're referring to on that. We can talk about it more tomorrow if you want to come in, if that's all right. Thank you very much, Norma. And thank you to the public for coming this evening, and thanks to Boone Labs. We're excited for a new opportunity for growth in our community, and we appreciate all investment and your guys' commitment to our area. And I just want to wish everybody a joyous 2022. Hopefully everyone's fortunes are better than last year, because I know it wasn't the best for a lot of folks. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Commissioner Swim?
I'm a little short tonight. Welcome to the community. We're looking forward to having you here and making additional investment, so that's great. Really, I don't have a whole lot left. Let's wish Michigan was in the playoffs tonight, or the championship tonight, but I guess I'll be rooting for Georgia. So have a great night, everybody.
Thank you. Commissioner Downey?
I'd welcome you guys to the community too. That's all I had.
Commissioner Munn?
Congratulations and welcome to our booming community here, and wish you folks the best, and I'll be like Patrick, roll tide.
What? That's not what I said.
Let the minutes reflect.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's a terrible. Can we censor him or censure him? My comments this evening actually have to do with the conversation we had at our last meeting about the bond ceiling for the DPW building and how important I think those kind of discussions are. We don't get a chance as a group of 5 to sit and talk about these subjects until we're sitting here. And it makes it really difficult, but those conversations are super important, which is what my comments have to do with this evening. So this evening I wanted to speak briefly about the importance of our discussions and the impact they can have on each one of us and how they allow us to see things from a different perspective. It's important for the public to remember that the 5 of us do not get the luxury of sitting around discussing these important issues until we're all at a meeting. Being able to take the time to hear each other's perspectives is critically important, and I would urge my fellow commissioners to stop me, slow me down, and speak up if they think I'm moving a meeting too fast, like tonight, or if there's discussion that still needs to be had on a subject. At our last meeting, we discussed the bond ceiling limit for the DPW building. This short conversation really made me think about the way we make decisions and how important it is to be able to look at things through someone else's eyes. Commissioner Swim used the phrase last week, or something to the effect of, I'm drawing a line in the sand and won't approve anything over that. And this is in no way, shape, or form a criticism of Commissioner Swem, I promise. But rather proof of why I think these sometimes difficult decisions are so incredibly important. Because I went home after that meeting and I tossed and turned all night, trying to understand how and why Commissioner Swem thought and felt the way he did, and more importantly, why my way of thinking was so much different than his. And then I had an epiphany of sorts, and it's really quite simple, because we're different. We have different backgrounds, different experiences, and different ways of looking at the same issue. Commissioner Swem is a numbers guy. His background is in finance and banking. So of course he looks at it through that lens. My lumberyard business is tasked with laying out the effective and efficient use of new and existing lumberyards. So I lay awake at night thinking about how to direct traffic counterclockwise around a building so that it makes it easier for drivers to back to dock doors, how to utilize the dead space not being used in the ceiling of a warehouse, and what kind of equipment can we install that would allow the space to be used. So I'm looking at the DPW building from a completely different angle. Having 5 different viewpoints and having the ability to openly discuss ideas is what gives the City Commission the ability to make good, well-thought-out decisions. But those decisions can only be reached if we're willing to compromise. So, in my opinion, we have 2 responsibilities when it comes to the DPW building. First, we have the responsibility of being fiscally responsible and prudent with the community's tax dollars. Second, we have the responsibility of providing an effective, efficient building to our Department of Public Works that allow them to do their work to the best of their ability for the next 50 to 70 years. Both of those responsibilities are equally important, and neither outweighs the other. And so I laid awake thinking of an example, and there's a glaring one in our community. When the middle school was recently remodeled, I say recently, it's been 8 to 10 years now. But if you're familiar with the middle school, you'll know where I'm going. Those in charge of the project were given the plans, and they thought they were doing the community a favor when they nixed some of the footprint of the new gymnasium. In other words, they saved some money by removing some of the footprint that would have been gymnasium area. If you've been in that gymnasium, you know that the walls are the boundary lines of the gym floor. There's no bleachers. There's no room for spectators to stand because the walls are pretty much the gym floor boundaries. And there's no space for storage of gym equipment. Because of these issues, the space cannot be used for organized sporting events or tournaments, and even practicing in the space has its challenges. Middle school games have to be played at the high school, which the taxpayers are also currently paying for, and we lost the opportunity to host other schools or even tournaments that would have brought visitors to our community, that would have brought business to local restaurants and other businesses. So that space is inefficient, poorly designed, and missed the mark. But my point is this: no one remembers now if that project was $2.9 million or $3.2 million, but they know that the gym that was built isn't really an asset to the community and isn't really a gym. So I would humbly ask the commission to keep this example in mind as we continue to move forward with the DPW project and all other infrastructure projects that we have on the horizon as well. We must be willing to compromise, to listen to all sides, to give and take in order to meet the needs of everyone and to make decisions that will have long-term positive impacts on our community. There, hope that wasn't too long-winded. But that being said, welcome to the community. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you to the rest of the public for coming tonight. And I will take a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Is there support?
It's money I'll support.
All in favor, say aye.
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 It's like a Legion meeting.
Wow.
Thank you, everyone.
That's impressive. That's good. Wow.
Back and see what the record is.
That's gotta be the record.
Yeah, I was just saying.
I got 760.
Thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome to our
I'll give you
community.
credit for that.
Welcome.
There was nothing on the agenda.
I know it was late.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah,
luck to you
I was gonna
guys.
say,
Nice to meet you, Eddie Patrick Swan.
actually, I was looking,
Good luck to you.
I was in my card folder and I was looking at that card and I thought, you know what? Never have run into these guys. Yeah, that was just wild.
Good.
Cool.
We were there for
Build one.
one of the guys' junk, and I just happened to have my American Legion jacket on. It said